Welcome to LeadFox, the all-in-one marketing automation software. Ever since its beginning in March 2016, LeadFox is now present in more than 41 countries, used by over 800 users. In the LeadFox application, you will find a lot of elements to help you gather new contacts and convert those contacts into paying customers. We will be using, as an option, landing pages, to promote all of your services or products. And within your website, you will also have pop-ups, embedded forms, and web banners that serve to convert customers. Then we will see emails and the automation system. For the landing pages, this is you're gonna find a lot of repeating themes within the management page, but we'll start with the builder itself, and you'll find that it's extremely simple to build a landing page with LeadFox. So basically, it is a WYSIWYG type of system. So what you see is what you get. So you need to place all the elements that you desire within your web page directly at the spot that you want it in. So you can add sections. Sections are used to isolate the elements within that section. You can add text. So with a very simple and very familiar text editor, you'll be able to input text and change its aspects. So you can change the color, the font size, the font family, the alignment, and such. You can also add images within the landing page itself. So it's simply drag and dropping an image basically, and you just place your image and resize it at will. We also have buttons, so simple CTAs that can either be used to bring someone down with an anchor down within the landing page itself. It can be used for an external URL, or it can actually be used as a document repository. So you can upload a PDF up to 50 megs directly into LeadFox, and as soon as the person presses the button, it will open a new tab in which they can actually view your ebook or your white paper or download it directly. You can add forms within those landing pages, so to gather some new contacts. The forms use contact properties, which I will show you a little later, but basically it's as simple as just selecting the elements that you want to show within your form, and then you can add some custom fields as well, and simply make sure that you tie it to a property, and then you can ask questions to your customers, and whatever the answer they give you, you will be able to use within the automation system to ensure that you gather as much business intelligence on your customers. You can add medias, so you can have a video that's located on YouTube or Vimeo, and all you need to do is put the URL right at the spot that you selected. It will basically use all the parameters that you've set in YouTube, so in HD format with a specific size. We have some boxes simply to put around the elements that you've put in. So it's strictly to add a bit of flair to your web page. You can also add HTML directly into the page. So simply by drag and dropping the HTML boundary, you can add your code directly into it. So in this case, I've been using it as an anchor. So as soon as a person clicks on the CTA, it will bring the person directly at this spot. You can also add small separators, so aesthetic lines that can be modified. So either you can change the color, you can change the height, you can change the width of that line. One element that is actually extremely important to understand is that LeadFox is not a responsive system. You need to optimize each and every view. And one of the elements that is key to this is that everything that you drop into one version of the page is interdependent in its existence, not in its placement. So I can go to the tablet mode, modify where I've placed the image itself, and it will not affect any of the other versions. If I decide to delete an element, it will disappear from every page. So to prevent and actually optimize every pages that you have, you will need to use a layering system. So very long text or very long forms can actually be changed to shorter ones to optimize the view in a mobile phone. So you can use the layering system simply by selecting the element that you'd like to hide, and then simply mask it from that layer. So in this case, I've put a smaller form that will be easier for the person to actually fill out on a mobile phone. In the menu section, you'll be able to add a lot of resources to your landing pages. So you can add some HTML for your tracking codes from Google or Facebook, or you can add some JavaScript, or if you have a coder in-house, you can actually do some CSS directly into the page. You can create all your ads in advance for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, since they all use the Open Graph protocol. So all you need to do is add the title, add a description, put a URL of an image that actually is set within LeadFox, and then you will have your ad directly into your ad manager in Facebook. You can add titles and metas and save every one of your creations as a template. In the management page, you're going to see a lot of things that are recurring. So when it comes to management pages for landing pages, pop-ups, embedded forms, emails, and web banners, you're going to see a lot of recurring themes. So you have a space in which you can select the lists in which the contacts are going to be found once they're converted. For LeadFox, a contact is an email, so that email can be found into multiple lists. It has no incidence when it comes to billing. You can select what will be the language of all alerts given to the customer. So basically just select the language of your landing page. You can select what's going to be the life cycle of the contact once it's converted. So you can select either a subscriber, a lead, a marketing qualified lead, or a sales qualified lead. The goal, of course, is for the person to become a customer. You can send all the data as soon as it's gathered within LeadFox via email. So you can add one or multiple emails, and all the data that's been gathered from the form will be sent immediately to you through the email system. Since the CRM within LeadFox is not a sales type of CRM, it is strictly there to manage the contacts and manage the campaigns themselves. We do third-party integrations, so if you have a Salesforce CRM to do follow-ups with your customers, you can integrate all the data and have it sent immediately to your Salesforce system simply by clicking here and connecting to your Salesforce profile. This is available for all of these in one click, or you can use the webhook protocol to actually send the data over to any type of third-party software. When the conversion is completed, best practices are calling for you to send the person to either a thank you page or a specific spot on your website. So to send them on your website, all you need to do is select redirect to an external URL and put the URL in question right in this spot. For an internal page, it can be built within LeadFox and is built exactly the same as the landing page itself. So all the elements you can add is here on the left, and the way to modify and edit those elements is here situated on the right. You still have the very same option, so you can inject code within the thank you page, create an ad using the Open Graph protocol. You can add titles and metas to your thank you page and save your thank you page as a template. You can also change the URL. By default, the URL of the landing page will always appear under leadfox.space URL with a generic number after it. But adding a subdomain within LeadFox and adding a CNAME to your DNS will allow you to tie directly to your domain. So in this case, I'm using example.faq.com, but it could be promotions.yourdomain.com. And then you can rename your landing page itself and the thank you page at the same time in this interaction. You can do A/B test with every element within LeadFox. So you can duplicate your landing page and simply give it a weight of impression. You can just make a few modifications such as text, colors, typography, font size, and all those can influence how a customer will react to your landing page. So you can test multiple landing pages. There are no limits to the system itself. I'm going to show you the conversion elements that go on your website first, and then we'll end with emails and automations. So for the pop-up, it requires that you either have the plugin installed in a WordPress website, a Magento website, or a Shopify website. For any of the type of CMS, you will need to add a code, a short code that I'll show you in the Manage section a little later. The pop-up is a temporal pop-up, so you need to select the number of seconds before it appears and the number of days before it appears to the very same visitor. So you can select that it appears on all of your website, excluding certain pages, or you can display the pop-up on certain pages only. You still have the very same options that are available to you. So the list in which the prospects will be found once converted, the life cycle of the person, the language in which the person will receive alerts if they don't fill the form properly. You can send all the contact information over to yourself by email, and third-party integration is available to you. One of the small intricacies of this is that there are no redirections to an external URL since we're already in your website, but you can create a thank you page that is a pop-up itself. The builder is exactly the same as the one you've seen in the landing page section. So basically you just drag and drop the elements that you wish. You can you can change the dimensions of the pop-up itself, and you can do the very same thing. So you can inject code, create an ad through your pop-up. You can add titles and metas and save your pop-up as a template. And there is only one optimization for mobile phones since the standard width is 600 by 400 pixels. You can do A/B tests with the pop-ups as well. So in this case, 50% of the time, my A variant will appear to the customer, and the B variant will appear the next 50% of the time. For the embedded forms, those are forms that are meant to replace the ones that you currently use within your website. So they can gather all the data and send it over to LeadFox. All you'll need to do is have either the plugin or the JavaScript code directly into your pages, and then embed this small code where you want the form to appear. All the design options for your form will be assumed by either your HTML code or your CSS code from the website. You still have the very same options, so the lists in which the prospects will be found once they're converted, the life cycle of the lead once it's converted, the language in which they're going to see the alerts, and email information that can be sent to you, and third-party integration. We do have an external URL redirection, so you can send them directly into a specific spot on your website, or you can create a thank you page within LeadFox that is built exactly like a landing page itself. To build a form, it's extremely simple to do. Simply select the elements that you'd like to have and ask your customers, and basically just paste the code that you saw in the management page itself. So this little snippet of code needs to be put within your website, and the form will work automatically. For the web banners, there's simple images that are used as a button. So you will need to embed the code where you want the button to appear on your website. The size of the button itself can be either managed through the HTML code, giving it a maxed height and width, or it can be managed by the image itself. So in this case, I just pick an image, you upload it from right here, and then you just put the link in which it will either redirect, so it could be a landing page on which you have your promotion, or a specific spot on your website. You can select if it opens in a new tab or a current tab, and you can add an alt text to make sure that you're W3C compliant. A/B test is absolutely possible with the CTAs as well. So you can create multiple CTAs that will allow you to verify which one will convert the most. The email section is quite simple. It is built the very same way that you saw with the landing page, but we have 4 different ways to send an email. So you can either send right now, you can schedule for a specific date and time. If you have a newsletter that you need to update to your customers on a regular basis, you can just select updating through RSS, and then selecting the recurrence for that update. All you need to do is select which lists will take the contacts to send that email to, and then all you have to do is build your email. The 4th way that you can send an email is through the automation system, and that I will show you afterwards. But just to show you the builder, it's very simple. Again, you have to create, to send in all your elements within the landing page. So you will find all those on the left side, and the changing of those elements can be done through this right side. We are international compliant when it comes to mass email sending. So you will need to fill up this information prior to saving your email. So you will need to input your company's email, your company name, the subject that needs to be relative to the content of the email, and create an unsubscription text. All of this information will be found automatically at the bottom of each email, and we also put the physical address of your company at the bottom. This is sourced in another spot within the software, and I'll show you this in the management section. There is no way to inject code, but you can save your emails as a template. A/B test is absolutely available to you, so you can create multiple iterations of this email and simply give it a weight of impression. So in this case, my A email will be sent 30% of the time, my B will be sent 50% of the time, and my C will be sent 20% of the time. So it can give you a lot of insider knowledge on how your campaigns are actually performing. The automation system is simple. Basically, all you need to have is a plan of communication with your customers. Once done, you need to remember that you're actually dealing with humans. So my automation system will basically put into place all the actions that you tell it to in a linear fashion. So you need to give delays for them to actually read an email. So as an example, I will take a list of subscribers, send them an email, give them a small delay to actually read that email and verify if they've opened it. So I will pick a list of subscribers. So now I need to select which list it will be. Then I will send them an email that I've created prior. So in this case, it'll be the FAQ email. I will give them a slight delay for them to read it. So we have delays in minutes, hours, days, months, or even years. So in this case, I'll give them 3 days to actually read the email. Then I will verify conditions. In this case, I can either verify a contact property, so I can verify any data that's within that contact property. I can verify how they've read my email. Was it on a mobile phone? Was it on a tablet or a computer? I can verify if they've actually opened the email that I've sent them. I can verify if they've clicked a link within that email. Has that customer attained a specific life cycle, or has he visited a web page? So in this case, we'll verify if they've opened the email in question. So I will select the email, and then I can add secondary actions. So in the actions that I compose, I can update a contact. So inputting data into a property. I can update the contact's lifecycle. I can subscribe or unsubscribe from a list. I can unsubscribe the contact from my newsletter. I can delete the contact or send them an email. In my conditions, I can also, when I verify a contact property, so I just have to select the property in question and then input the data that I'm looking for. And then I can pose a secondary action. The one thing that you need to remember is that all of your branches need to end with automation end. So that way everything will work properly. In the template section, you will find all of your creations with the name that you've named it and the type of template that you've saved. So if you want to edit all of these, all you need to do is select it. You will end up into a management page in which you have the familiar builder. So you can modify it and simply save it as a template once again. In the contact section, you will be able to create lists simply by adding a simple name. So you can name your list just like this, and the list will exist immediately. So once that's done, you can import contacts directly into a list, or you can import them from all your contacts and then use the properties through the automation system to just send those contacts into a specific list. If we look at an individual contact, in this case I've got a fictitious one, you will be able to see all the actions that this contact has posed. So have they been on your website? Which page have they been on? As long as you have the page code into your pages, we will be able to see any of the activities of the customer. We'll see if you've received an email, opened an email, read an email, clicked a link in it, and ended up through your funnel. As you can see, all the properties will be found within the contact. So the data that's actually in there is the type of data that you will be able to use through the automation system. And when we talk about properties, creating one is extremely simple. So if I want to create just a simple property, all I need to do is give it a name, a shortcode will be generated. It's a shortcode that I'll be able to use on emails to personalize my sending. So if I'd like to address one of my contacts and call them by their first names, all I would need to do is use the first name shortcode to input it automatically in any email that I send to my customers. The report section, well, as soon as we have either the plugin or the page code installed on your website, we'll be able to see how traffic evolves over your website and how they've come to your site. So we will have a lot of data when it comes to the contacts that you actually have within your contact list. We'll be able to see how they progressed through the sales funnel that you've set up, and see if you can make any changes to have better performances. We'll also have individual reports for all the elements that you've deployed. So in this case, we have a landing page report, and we see that how many people has viewed it, how many people have committed visits. If there's been any conversion, you would also see that data at this point. In the Manage section, this is the tracking code that needs to be inputted in all of your pages if you're not using the plugin for WordPress, Magento, or Shopify. The lifecycle code is a very simple way to actually change the lifecycle of a customer. As soon as that person ends up on a specific page, so as an example, if you have an e-commerce site, you can use a thank you page at the end of a transaction to just simply put that lifecycle code within that page, and the lifecycle of the customer will change from a prospect to an actual customer automatically within LeadFox. The location the section is basically where we source the information that will be put at the bottom of each and every email that you send through LeadFox. So it's important that to be internationally compliant, that this information is filled out properly. In the account overview, it's where you will be able to either close your account or adjust or purchase any extras and adjust your plan with LeadFox. For adding users that will use LeadFox, it's extremely simple. Basically, all you need is the email of the person in question, and then you can just pick their roles. The administrator sees everything, the manager sees everything except billing, the editor can see everything except the Manage section, and the analyst will be able to see only the Report section. The subdomain section will help you if you want to change the leadfox.space URL for a landing page to tie it up to your domain name. So all you need to do is add a subdomain and then add a CNAME into your DNS. That way we'll be able to tie in your domain with LeadFox to ensure that we can change that URL for landing pages. The API section is where you can generate a key and generate a secret phrase to either activate a plugin or to communicate with external parties. So very simple to do. All you need to do is add a key, tie it to a domain name, and you will generate an automatic tracking code and a secret key code. To activate the plugin, you will need to generate this secret phrase, and you just input these two codes within the plugin, and it will be automatically embedded within your website, and bilateral communication with LeadFox will be available immediately. The billing section is where you'll input your credit card information. At the moment, it is our only way to pay the bills with LeadFox. So input the information right here, and you will find a library of all of your invoices that you can download under in PDF format. We are based out of Quebec, Canada. Basically, we are Eastern Time, same as New York City. So when you want to communicate with us, our live chat service is available from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you so desire, you can leave us a message on the chat system after those hours, and we will respond within 30 minutes after that. You also have access to a support section. So a very simple help center that you'll be able to use at any time. There are videos, FAQs, and all kinds of guides that will help you manage your LeadFox system. So thank you very much for checking out our software, and hopefully we've been able to pique your curiosity about LeadFox. So at any time, if you require any assistance, rest assured that LeadFox is there to help you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.